Welcome to NuttieBuddie Entertainment. The Bad.
You ready to move on to the bad?
Oh boy, am I
Oh
ready?
boy.
No.
Okay. Go ahead. Give us your first bad, Brian. What was your first bad of She-Hulk?
My first bad of She-Hulk is the Abomination storyline.
Love it. I love that you have it in
was
there
an
because it's in my
abomination.
bad. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. To have him go through that whole thing with like Wong and the trial and to get out, and then in the episode with the group therapy, he's still, trying to just like help people and change his ways, not be the Abomination. And then we get to the last episode and he comes out and he doesn't realize that he's, doing a speaking event for uh intelligentsia,
Yeah.
and he's the Abomination and he's encouraging them to like do what they do, and then for him to then get sent back to jail for 10 years, it's just like, oh, uh, we had him in here for like plot in the beginning and to make sense, and then we're just gonna just scrap it all at the end and make him just, back to just being absolutely nothing.
Yeah, why? I just don't get it. Like,
You could have had that entire like scene without him being the Abomination. Like, you only needed him to be that to make this kind of like con of like, oh, Bruce is gonna come in and he's going to, have a fight with him that never takes place or does anything, but yet he's still going to go to jail for it at the end when she goes in and like rewrites the entire story. So yeah, I don't know.
yeah, you think she would have, when she rewrote it, she would have, because obviously Blonsky did not know that he was going to a hate event or whatever. So, whatever. But yeah, it's just like, he's a villain. Like, why are we taking a cool villain and like making him this?
That's the thing. It's if you want to like reform him, like stick with that story then.
Yeah.
Don't just like at the end just like, oh, we're gonna scrap that. He's gonna run the town with Wong and hopefully he'll still be a good guy. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know.
It's just like what he was in The Incredible Hulk, which we rewatched. And if you haven't listened yet, we did do a great, good, bad, ugly of it.
Yeah.
Um, he was so like just a power obsessed. He was a soldier. He was intimidating. He wasn't afraid. And then we come into this this scene, and he's just like this, so I guess hippie, like just mellow. And it's just like, I don't want that Abomination. What are we doing? I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was an unfortunate, to me, that was an unfortunate waste of character. I'll go ahead with my first bad. I know you didn't mind it, but I did not like the origin, because I felt like that's that could have been a good storyline to hit out throughout the entire series, which is Jennifer coming to grips for a decision that she did not make, that was kind of thrust upon her to save her life, because that's how it happened in the comic book. And it could have been a weighty story that they could have followed and brought in throughout the episodes, but they chose to do this where she saved his life and accidentally got some blood on him. I don't know. I just like because of the origin story, in the lack of like, I guess because if Bruce would have gave her the blood, she's like forced to be the Hulk, and then she has to, so I don't know. I just didn't like it, and I felt like it was a wasted opportunity, especially when you consider everything we got afterwards.
Yeah. No, yeah, I guess I agree with that. I didn't mind it for the origin story. I understood like they had to switch it a little bit from the comic books just to, create a little something for the TV show. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Okay, what's another bad you had, Brian?
I thought Titania was a horrible enemy. Like, if that's her arch nemesis, I thought that was just It was so weak.
Yeah.
Like a whole storyline for trademark infringement.
Yeah.
What?
So in the wedding episode where she fell and hit her face, did that is that why her face got puffy? Do you remember? And
Titania?
yeah,
I think so.
yeah. Which I felt like was interesting considering that she could take a bunch of hits from She-Hulk and not be injured, how falling on your face on the floor would cause your face to become bloody and what I didn't
I don't know. I
quite see
almost
what
feel
happened.
like when they introduced these superheroes and stuff into the show, maybe they should have had some bullet points of their powers, what they do, if they're good or bad. Because I couldn't tell if Titania was good or bad.
Right.
Does she do anything except make makeup products and have super strength?
Yeah, she's like an influencer of this
Yeah,
super
and
powered influencer.
yeah, I don't know who she was for exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay, I'm gonna hit a bad here, and maybe you might have this. I don't know if you have it, but I'm just gonna say She-Hulk Jennifer Walters is in my bad. I just
mhm,
didn't care about her. At times, she was I was listening to this video, and I kind of agree. Where good storytelling you show and you don't say. So, we talked about this. We might have talked about this actually already, where she talked about the problems she dealt with throughout her life, like men undermining her because she's a girl. And,
mhm.
and I totally get that. Okay. It would have been better if they showed scenes of those things taking place, right? But the entire, we're supposed to assume that she just, you know, it deals with all this stuff. But she
Yeah.
has, other than her dating life, she has her entire life together. At times, she kind of came off as a know-it-all, and that's why I liked her chemistry with Daredevil, because it kind of she was sort of humbled a little bit, but she accepted that, and then their banter back and forth. It just I don't know, and then no really character growing. So it's interesting because as She-Hulk, I noticed this when I binge watch. As She-Hulk, she hooks up with a bodybuilder dude, right?
Mhm.
And then as Jennifer Walters, she hooks up with that Josh, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then you think she would grow as a character, hey, maybe I should just throw myself to any guy that shows me attention. Basically what she did with the first two guys she met. And then Daredevil comes and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to throw myself at him now." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't think so. There's not really any character growing. I don't know. I felt like they did a really poor job with her.
Yeah. It was hard to take her serious a lot of the times because it didn't really seem like she was taking herself serious that much. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, she's a little condescending. I don't mind a little condescending. Like I said, Lorelai is one of my favorite, my favorite
Mm,
character. Done right, I think it can work, but I just don't think it worked the way she did it. I just did not care. And what was the lesson she learned throughout the show? That basically she can go and write her own story. Is that it? What
the
is it?
lesson she learned is oh, she cannot be She-Hulk because that's what everybody else wants her to be. I that's the only point I got out of that entire thing. So
Yeah, I don't know.
because I
Yeah.
mean, she couldn't do her job without being She-Hulk. And then in the last episode, because she was She-Hulk, she got fired from that job. And it's
Hmm.
also why was she working for that company in the first place? She was literally suing them in the first episode from a different law firm because of
That's right.
something that they did. So yeah.
Yeah, it just it, yeah. Anyway, it just I don't know. I just didn't think they did a good job with her.
Yeah.
And you got another bad?
Yeah. The worst character or episode in this entire thing for me was the dropout sorcerer episode.
Oh, sure.
It was so bad. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't. But between him and what he was doing and the cheesy magic tricks, and then I can't remember the girl's name that was in there who was
Madison, I think.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. Madison. It was such a sloppy episode that didn't even need to be like, it just needed to be scrapped because I don't understand why we got it. But that for me was just like where it just, that was the turning point of where everything for me just started just like declining wise for like the show.
Yeah, it wasn't a great episode. Like even like, and that's the thing. I understand you want to be a comedy and stuff, but like, can you in a courtroom, can we get a little bit of seriousness? Like the judge isn't taking anything serious. Jennifer isn't. The what's it called? The prosecutor on the other side, he's not, the other lawyer, he's not taking it. It's just like when the it was that scene where he like the lawyer for, I think, Johnny Blaze or Blaze or whatever, he put a bunny behind the like, the towel or whatever to help him like perform a trick. Did you remember that in the courtroom?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so stupid. Why would he do that? It's just, I don't know. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other bad for you?
No. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into the ugly. Thanks so much for listening to Brian and I break down the She-Hulk Attorney at Law series. Let us know what you thought of this series in the comment below. Let us know your great, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Also, check out some of the other reviews that we've done on the channel. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we'll talk to you guys next time.